Andrew McCART, IFL TV, in association with MTK Global. I'm here in the beautiful city of Newcastle. With me I've got the one and only David Diamante. David, before we start this interview, I just want to send our condolences to obviously Patrick Day. You were out in Chicago and whatnot, so obviously you share the same sentiments as me. We just send our heartfelt condolences to Patrick Day's family and friends. Yeah, I just want to say that. So.
Just a terrible situation.
Yeah.
It's a very painful day. It's a painful time. Just prayers with his family.
Definitely. Well, we're here in Newcastle. We've got the Tyne Bridge behind us. Lovely. Move your head out of the way there. Lovely Tyne Bridge behind us. You're in Newcastle. You've been here before, haven't you?
I have,
for a fight night with Ritson. Just can you sum up the atmosphere at a Newcastle fight night?
Well, there's nothing quite like the GEORDIES. You know, the north of England's a whole different ball of wax, shall I say? Yeah, Newcastle's incredible. The tune, it's a great spirited city, and they always support their charges. The two top fights on this bill, Ritson and Davies Jr, and of course Cheeseman and Fitzgerald, they're really well-matched domestic dust-ups. I think there's a lot more at stake than titles or eliminators. It's British bragging rights. So come Saturday, it's going to be rocking.
Also got Scott Fitzgerald over there to your left to my right against Ted Cheeseman, another all-British classic, it seems like, because both of them like to fight. There's another war on the cards, and the top two fights, like you said, is going to be absolute wars, so the fans are in for a treat. Again, I just want to talk about Ritson and Davies Jr a little bit more. I mean, the winner of this obviously becomes WBA international, I think it's an international champion and a continental champion, probably you correct me.
It's an eliminator.
An eliminator, yeah, so again, could be a possibility with a Josh Taylor Regis Progra. I mean, so the incentive there is something big, isn't it, for the winner? Absolutely.
I mean, 10 stone right now is quite a division, and next week we're going to be seeing, like you said, Taylor and Progra at the O2. It's an interesting fight. There's been a lot of I like it because it's a grudge match. These guys really want at each other. There's no love lost there. I think they both respect each other, but there's no love lost, and I think that Davies Jr feels that Ritson, from moving up from 135, I think he feels like he hasn't faced the same opposition he has at that weight. So I think Davies is very confident in this fight, and it's a fight that Ritson really needs to win. I mean, he had the British title and he stepped up to European. Obviously, that didn't fare too well for him. We saw Davies here last year at the same time in a great fight against a man from Sunderland, Glenn Foote.
Yes,
it was a great fight. So it's really a well-matched fight. I can't wait for it.
Again, is there any other fighters on the card that's piquing your interest? I mean, a heavyweight coming through, Big Mark Bacoli's on the card as well.
Yeah, Osaweki, Bacoli, Savannah Marshall. There's a lot of great people on the card. I think, of course, those two top fights are what we really all want to see. But the whole card's going to be really nice. But these are just really well-matched domestic dust-ups, like I said. So it really should be a great night here in Newcastle.
Just stepping away from Newcastle, that we mentioned next week, obviously Josh Taylor, Regis Progra. I mean, what a fight that is. I mean, you've got number 1 and number 2 in the division. All them belts are on the line. The Ali Trophy, the Ring Magazine belt. I mean, can you ask for anything more?
You really can't. I mean, that's one of the things that the Super Series brings is hopefully the best fighting the best, and you get some clarity in the divisions. Obviously, we had Hooker and Ramirez fight. Ramirez took that, so now you've got these guys fighting. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, it's one of those fights where you think about it, and one day you think, oh, Taylor's going to take it, and then you wake up and no, Progra's going to. It's really that much of a 50-50 fight. I personally. I really like both guys. I know both guys personally. They're both just fabulous guys. But I like Taylor's boxing skill. I really do. So I think he's, to me, a slight favorite in the fight. But that's slight. I think it's a real 50-50.
You're not the only person that said that. Being that I'm a jock, I'm Scottish, obviously, I might have a little bit more bias towards everyone. But everyone I've spoke to who isn't from Scotland or New Orleans, it's like, it's slightly like picking Regis or slightly picking Josh. I mean, it's just one of them classics. But I suppose I'm going to ask you, like, when you see sometimes when you get two southpaws up against each other, they cancel each other out. We're not going to expect that next week, are we?
I don't think so. I mean, I think the main thing for me, obviously, Progra has that power, but he feels like he also has the boxing pedigree, which he does. But Taylor has a good chin. He's got great boxing pedigree, and he does have power. He doesn't really have that one-punch knockout power, but he can chop a man down, and we've seen him do that. And he can also really frustrate opponents because he's so cagey in the ring. So both guys are going to be really prepared. I mean, we're in for a classic.
Obviously, you're everywhere. like everywhere, no matter where in the world matches up. I'm sure you're obviously there enjoying life and whatnot, but I want to go back to Usyk's fight. I mean, you watched him there. Like, just tell me, what does he bring to the heavyweight division now that he's stepped in it?
Well, the landscape of the heavyweight division right now is so exciting, and now we've got a new guy coming in, which is just amazing. Obviously, he completely cleaned out the cruiserweight division, and we've seen, the last time we saw anything like this was Holyfield, right? So now Usyk's stepping up. You know, he did what he was supposed to do against Chaz Witherspoon. It's going to be interesting to see how he fares against the top guys in the division. You know, he was never really known as a one-punch knockout guy himself, so he didn't have a ton of power even at cruiserweight. Again, he has stoppages, but a lot of his stoppages happen over time in a bout. So it's interesting, but he also has a lot of heavyweight background himself. He fought a lot of heavyweights as an amateur, so he's not completely new to this, and a lot of people feel that a lot of the heavyweights are just kind of bulked up cruiserweights. So we'll see if he can put on, you know, some good weight, and if he adjusts well at the heavyweight division, but it's going to be very interesting to see.
Back in the 60s and that, the heavyweights were like 6'2", 6'3", Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, all these guys, the smaller heavyweights. Then it became an era where there was 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", Tyson Fury 6'9". Do you think the smaller heavyweights are coming back in it, with the guys like Andy Ruiz, Michael Hunter's obviously doing his thing, you've got obviously Usyk coming in. Do you feel it's the era of the small heavyweights now coming in?
Not necessarily. I think it depends. I mean, Ruiz, he might not have the height, but he's a pretty big guy. I think 250 something. Yeah. So he's not really a small guy. He's definitely got weight behind him, but he has that speed. You know, he's got the really fast hands, and of course he's got the great boxing pedigree. So, you know, he's a really adept boxer. It could be, and I mean, that's one thing that Usyk really brings is those legs. I mean, he can move really well. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, that's what we want to see. So it only takes one punch though in the heavyweight division to stop a guy. So it's going to be very interesting. I mean, Usyk showed a good chin so far, but he's also had close fights. I mean, his fight with Briedis in Latvia was very, very close. So, you know, he hasn't dominated everybody. You know, he cleaned out the division. He did it in everyone's backyard. It's very, very impressive. But he's got some tests coming up at above 14 stone, 4 pounds.
I totally 100% agree with you there. Staying with the heavyweight division, I mean, Tyson Fury, WWE. I was a huge WWE fan as a kid. That was probably the first time I've sort of like watched Raw and SmackDown as an adult, and Tyson Fury went in it. I mean, is that a good thing for Tyson? A bad thing for Tyson? What's your thoughts on that?
Only Tyson knows. I've never watched pro wrestling, so I don't know too much about it. But if he's making money and he's happy, good for him.
So obviously
it's not boxing.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
You know, if you want to continue as the lineal champ, then you gotta box.
I think the Wilder fight, being that the Ortiz fight is in November, the Wilder fight might be in February, as people are saying. I mean, is that too close between fights for Wilder?
I don't know if it's too close for Wilder. It depends what happens in the fight. I mean, anything could happen, man. I mean, Ortiz almost stopped him in the last fight.
Definitely.
That was very, very close. So we'll have to wait and see, but I think that fight could be in peril. I mean, it obviously with the cut against Wallen, that was really tough. Now he's got the WWE thing. You know, Wilder's got the fight against Ortiz, so that fight's not a 100%. I don't think right now.
Definitely. Finally, before I let you go and enjoy the rest of your coffee, because I've obviously clearly interrupted you, I'm sorry.
Not at all. Not at all.
Just quick for the fans that are coming on Saturday night, what can they expect you feel for this whole card?
Well, this is a card that I wasn't going to miss no matter what. I mean, if you've never been to a fight in Newcastle, especially with a Geordie charge at the top of the bill, a popular Geordie charge. I mean, Louis Ritson is such a likable guy, the Sandman, everyone loves him. He really leaves it all in the ring. He fights so hard. He's got a ton of heart. So does Davies Jr. Fitzgerald Cheeseman. I mean, wow, it's going to be an incredible night. I absolutely can't wait for it. So, really, I think it's sold out. But if you can get a ticket,
sold out, yeah.
if you can get a ticket, you gotta try to get in there.
Definitely, beg, borrow, steal.
Beg, borrow, steal. Yeah, run, don't walk.
Exactly. How are you with the Geordie accent? Getting about town, are you okay with that?
Yeah, you know, I love this town. The people are so friendly. It's a great night out, incredible food scene. It's just a lovely town, and we got a great day today. So, you know, looking forward to the press conference, and you know, prayers for Patrick Day though, and for his family. And you know, the one thing that I'm going to say today, and I believe this wholeheartedly, you know, Patrick Day loved boxing, and he absolutely would want these fights to go on. And so I think that Saturday night, all the courageous men and women that are stepping into the ring will be honoring Patrick. So our thoughts with him today.
I 100% echo that, David. Well said. And again, thank you so much for doing this 5L TV, and I'll see you tomorrow on Fight Night.
See you Fight Night.
Thank you very much, buddy. Thank you.
Take care.